like a physical injury is a more finite thing where it just happens and then you've got to sort of deal with the aftermath. With an emotional thing, it's sort of a slow burn. People, hopefully parents or friends or whoever can get in there and help and assist after the initial, whatever that trauma might be, or the ongoing difficulty of the relationship.
That makes sense. As you're talking, I'm thinking about a flaw of mine that I'm concerned about, which is that when people have problems, I love them, I want to fix it. And I often really just want to go in and fix it. It's my instinct and I often do it.
Same.
Okay, that can be a major problem because people need to learn to do it themselves. They need to make mistakes. They need to screw up, have their own experience, and learn.
Yep. I would venture to say that's maybe the most difficult thing for collectively parenthood as a whole. Anyone who's a parent, I think that's maybe the toughest thing, is knowing when to intervene and knowing when not to. And it's hard to, even from the very beginning, little things that there's no real reason to help them with this little thing or that. And I've, even for me, and I consider myself someone who values that hands-off type parenting a lot, because I want that self-sufficiency and I want her to be able to do stuff on her own. It's still hard for me to not just jump in and swoop in and help with something I know she could do herself, or I know would be a good learning moment for her if I tried to guide her instead of just doing it for her. Both, little whatever things, like we're talking about physical things, or let me help you reach this or fill up your water cup or whatever, as much as the emotional things, like she's frustrated, I just want her to not be frustrated. And so I'm just going to do the thing that makes her not frustrated. But I feel like I'm getting better at, and I think I'm trying to become more aware of it, which by no means means that I'm perfect at it, of that urge to want to just solve the problem and not have her solve the problem, which takes more time. It's more of a pain, right? Like, you can solve the crying now, or you can spend a little bit more time and hopefully make it so that she's got the skills to deal with this sort of frustration or what, negative thing in the future.
So where does the learning take place? It's like, it's not going to happen when the problem occurs and then I solve it. That's probably not learning, or you solve it. The learning occurs when they do it themselves. They have an experience, and then what, you help explain the experience that they just had with them, or work through it with them and Socratically bring out.
Sometimes, yeah.
Yeah.
I think the older they get, the more Socrates you can bring into the mix. But early on, it's I guess it sort of just depends on what the situation is. But and sometimes like Steph and I will try to do that, and it just isn't working, and she just will throw a fit for an hour about like wanting us to fill up her water cup when she's perfectly capable of doing it. And we actually just had this conversation this past, maybe even yesterday, about we also don't want to create an environment where she doesn't feel like we're there for her. And even if she can fill up the water cup herself, she would, for whatever reason, right? Like you or I were just feeling crap. You're like, hey, can you get me this thing? Because and so it's a little bit of a delicate balance too, between that, wanting her to know like we're there for her with parents, if she's feeling crappy, like we can do stuff for her, and having her not whine and complain about something that she can do herself, so that she learns that she can and should do things herself when she can.